Marty Leeds is someone who has been on this channel before, most recently trying to tell us that the 88 keys in a piano divided by the 28 phalanges in our fingers equals almost pi. He then went on to explain that this is why a piano is called a piano, piano. I kid you not. Well, he's back again today, and this time round he's getting deep. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Yes, Marty Leeds is back, and last time he featured he was not a happy bunny, and after the video went out he made a few live streams asking that we take IQ tests together and that he is so much more intelligent than me. Well, a high IQ does not equate to having wisdom. In fact, you may have a higher IQ than me, Marty, but who cares? Anyway, this week we are looking at a highlights video of his lecture on spirit and matter. We're going to skip the first minute because he bangs on about flat earth. Boring. Yes, he's one of those too. Away you go, Marty.
The material world is everything that you can touch and taste and feel and manipulate with your two hands. You can measure it. I can go out to that tree. I can cut that tree down. I can cut it in pieces. I can measure those. I can craft it. I can mold it. I can do all these things with the material plane, right? Everything in the material plane is that which passes away. It's transient. It's fleeting. It dies, right? It's impermanent, right?
Yeah, that's fair enough. Can't complain there.
The spiritual world, on the other hand, is permanent. It's something that never dies away, will always be there, and is ethereal, right? It's basically incorporeal. So if I go down into the beach right now, right, and I look out at the ocean right now, I can say, hey man, that ocean, that horizon line that I create with my very own eyes, right?
Well, your eyes don't literally create it, the earth does.
That horizon line is actually the distinguishing point between the spiritual and the material. So when we look up at the heavens, this is the problem that what most heliocentrists have in understanding the flat earth model. Most flat earthers, I think, would in general agree with this. What you're looking at is the spiritual realms.
Incorrect. What you are looking at is space and your galaxy.
That's immaterial. That's not a material object. You say, well, what's the shape of the sun? I'm not saying the sun has a shape other than it appears to us as circular. It appears to us as spherical.
Because it is.
But as far as we know, everything up in the heavens is spiritual. It's immaterial.
Incorrect again. There is a lot of matter in our solar system. In fact, Earth is only 0.0001% of the total mass of the solar system.
It's not corporeal. And so many people have such a difficult time with understanding that. But that is the world that you experience. You can't touch the sun. We're never going to land on the moon, and we haven't landed on the moon.
Oh, bloody hell, of course he believes that.
We don't have fucking rovers on Mars, and there isn't a satellite out to Pluto, right?
But Marty, you not believing that doesn't make it so. You can literally go on Google Earth, switch it to Mars, and see where the rovers are right now and get pictures.
You can't touch the sun, you can't touch the moon, you can't touch the stars.
Says Marty Leeds, a self-proclaimed genius.
Right? We don't know what those things are. They're not objects, right? So we are literally, when you go out into the world and you experience your reality, it doesn't matter what your predilections are for your faith or your belief system or your spirituality, your religion or anything like that. You are walking, you are shrouded, you are covered you're in a canopy of the spiritual realms all the time. Now, this is a fundamental that I think most indigenous cultures, most people of the past clearly understood, because it's exactly what they experience.
Yes, but they're just stories, aren't they? And there is no proof whatsoever of any type of covering.
I can't touch that stuff up there. I'm never going to go to the moon. I'm never going to go to Pluto. I'm never going to go to Venus or anything like that.
No, you aren't. Correct.
That, for all intents and purposes, all of that shit is metaphysical. It's beyond the physical. Here's the material realm. It's right below your feet. It's everything around you. And you look up, and what you are shrouded in is the spiritual. God's spiritual realms, the kingdom of heaven, is above you all the time.
But you just said it didn't matter about religion.
Anyway, spirit and matter. This really hinges, it really focuses on the spiritual essence of the human being, because it allows you to say, okay, I know that this human body, I know that this thing is going to pass away, that I'm going to die someday. And I'm going to have to deal with that. I'm going to have to deal with the fact that everyone around me is going to die someday, that this is fleeting, this is transient, it's passing, it's impermanent, But I also know that because I am shrouded, I'm covered in the canopy and the umbrella of the spiritual realms above, I also know that I'm from that as well, right? That there's something inside of me that's transcendent, that's eternal, that never dies.
If only he knew he was half right. There is stuff from out there that is now inside you. Every single atom that is inside you is traceable to the core of a high mass star. Every single atom.
That's never good, that's immortal, right? I don't try to give advice or anything like that. I don't try to tell people what to believe or what to do ever, right? But I will say this. Teach your children this sort of stuff. Tell them about spirit and matter. Tell them about that. That's the incorporeal up there. That's the things that you can't touch. And this is the stuff, this is the temporary existence, right?
No, you're right. I think I'll tell them the actual truth, that we are all made of stardust. And in a way, that's probably more poetic. Wouldn't you say so, Marty?
And when you're handed those sorts of things, then you say, okay, well, that orients me, right? I don't know what the model is. I don't really know what's underneath the earth. I don't know if it's a dome or a firmament. I don't know anything. All I can tell is it's a plane of existence and I've been placed here. Okay, well, I can handle life with not knowing a lot of things, right? There's no problem with not knowing a lot of things. But it's important to know the things that you can know, right? And make them foundational. So this is to address any globe earther that's having a problem. Whoa, there's the moon of flat disk too or something like that. The answer is we don't fucking know. All I know is it's not any place that we've been to.
So you don't know what it is, but you know we haven't been there. Makes perfect sense.
Right? So there's your answer, because that is the spiritual realms above. Now, I want to give you a few examples. I mirrored this video from Wakey Wakey, Mark Knight. I don't know if you guys know Mark Knight.
Oh no, not Wakey Wakey.
This is a clip from his film, and this basically shows the solar eclipse here, right? And it's like, oh, okay, well, the solar eclipse, the moon is passing in front of the sun. Okay, cool. So that seems logical, seems rational, seems like that's what's going on, right? We got two luminaries. One's really far away, one's pretty close. They seem the same size in the sky. But then you actually look at the footage of this eclipse, and you take it into whatever Photoshop or any of these sort of programs, and you look at it doesn't matter what you do with you mess with all the levels and stuff like that, and what you can see is there's nothing there. There's nothing there. There is no moon that's passing over the sun.
Sorry, what? I am far from an expert on Photoshop, but that doesn't mean that the moon isn't there. This could easily be part of the Earth's atmosphere that is shown here.
And you can do this. I mean, you can just mess with the levels and see that, even though it's supposed to be, this is what they're telling us, and of course our bullshit nonsensical cosmology, that the moon is passing over the sun. But once again, if you actually look at and mess with the levels and stuff like that, I mean, there's nothing there. There is no moon that's passing over the sun. So what's happening in our skies?
The moon is passing in between us and the sun. You simply cannot refute that. Wow. Really, Marty? Come on.
What's happening? He basically says in the film, which is as good as answer as any, that the sun is eating itself. Fucking might as well be. I mean, who knows, right? But that's one of the things so that he shows. Once again, we're talking about this. Everything that you experience in the heavens above, in the canopy of the heavens above, in the kingdom of heaven above, all of that stuff is immaterial. It's incorporeal. It's not an object, right? This is the moon. So this is the moon almost at new moon, right? Just breaching new moon. Basically what happens is the closer and closer you get to the cycle of the new moon, basically the moon disappears.
It doesn't disappear. Less of it is lit up from our perspective. That is all.
it's like there's nothing there. Basically, the moon, as it gets closer to the sun, if you will, sort of like powers down till it gets to a point where it's invisible.
Oh boy, this is just... Come on, Marty, you said you had a high IQ, buddy.
And so he goes on to say in that documentary, it's like, we literally could be looking at a new moon. Like, this thing just comes into the view of us, and then it fades away into invisibility, and then comes back. So all these people are saying, like, oh, flat earthers explain an eclipse. I was like, oh, I can't. But you know why? Because I can't explain that at all. The only thing I could do is look at that and say, as far as I can tell, that is not material. That's more dreamlike than anything.
Wow, literally saying that because he can't explain it, he's making something up.
The reason I do what I do is because I wish to God that when I was 25 or 28 or whatever it was, when I was still young and full of piss and vinegar, right? I wish to God there would have been a channel like Marty Leeds Live here or whatever, Marty Leeds 33.
Oh my days, he's so up himself, it's unreal. Cringe. Marty bigs himself up a bit more before returning to form and making stuff up about words and numbers.
Even if you look at the word, like, creatively, spiritual is actually a variation of pi rituals.
See what I mean?
An anagram for pi rituals. But spiritual is also, the root word is spire, so S-P-I-R and S-P-I-R-E is Latin and English, right? It's the spire of a church, right?
No, spiritual is derived from the medieval Latin term spiritualis, which means the breathing of the spirit, not the word spire. I think I've had enough of Marty today, making stuff up again just to sound impressive. Let's leave him to his little lecture, bless him. Right, that brings another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday to a close. If you enjoyed it today, then please do like and subscribe. It'd be thoroughly appreciated. I've been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a great day, and I'll see you all tomorrow for a brand new comments video. See you then.